shining a little more brightly this morning. 17 Houston police officers from various departments and ranks spent their vacations raising money to fight leukemia. They rode bicycles. They rode them in the longest relay ever. Reporter Charles Hadlock and photographer Jerry Hatton have the story of some of Houston's finest men and women who went that extra mile, no, the extra 5,000 miles, to help some folks who need help.
The Houston Police Bicycle Relay Team poses for one last photograph, a picture of a team that could wind up in the record books.
All right, here we go.
Each year, the 17 officers ride their bikes across several states, raising money for the Leukemia Society. But this will be a trip like no other.
But we're going to make it. It's going to be a good trip, I'm sure of that.
They honestly don't know what they're in for. There are going to be some peaks and there's going to be some valleys.
Officer Al Skozin has organized a trip the HPD bikers will never forget. He has plotted a course that will take the bikers west out of Houston. They'll take turns riding across Texas, then steer into the Rocky Mountains and climb the Continental Divide. They'll pedal 24 hours a day across 4 time zones, 8 states, and 2 provinces in Canada until they reach Anchorage, Alaska 12 days later.
Daddy's leaving now, sugar. Gonna get Daddy a kiss? Yeah, going to Alaska now.
Ahead of them is a 5,000-mile trip. As they pedal out of Houston, their spirits are as high as the Texas temperature.
You hope for a tailwind and a downhill.
You're more likely to find Captain Mark Curran behind a desk at the Northeast substation. But here he is on vacation, riding in a charity trip.
We've been doing it now. This is my 6th year, so once you get started, it's hard not to stop. But when you're on a bicycle, you feel every bump, every crack in the road.
The bikers will feel every bump and crack on the road between Houston and the Yukon. But all the bad roads are worth it.
Look at this scenery, God's country.
As awesome as the scenery is here, Al Skozin and fellow members of the police relay team rarely get a chance to stop and look at it.
Birds!
They have to keep moving.
We've had some tough roads.
Most of the trip is along a 2-lane mountain-studded road through British Columbia and the Yukon.
Only 7 more 100 miles to go. Up the hill.
If you've made it this far, 700 miles to go doesn't seem so bad. It's their mission that keeps them going.
I got 2 healthy children, and leukemia is the #1 killer in the country of children. And if we can eradicate that disease, there'll be a lot more happier families around.
The police officers divide into 4 teams and take turns riding alone or in groups 24 hours a day on the road north.
Luckily, we got great weather.
The officers hope that one day soon a ride like this won't be necessary.
Someday we're going to close in on that killer. We're only a couple of years away that we're going to cure that disease.
Up ahead, the officers are about to pedal through the largest town they've seen in 1,100 miles of wilderness. On the banks of the Yukon River, Whitehorse, population 21,000, is the capital of the Yukon Territory. All the bikers line up for a parade through town. The people of the Yukon greet them warmly, and the bikers become instant celebrities.
I'm really quite honored to welcome you to the Yukon.
Well, that's a great looking shirt, eh?
You want the small one too?
The officers pay for their trip along the way by selling T-shirts.
All I got left is large, extra large and small.
All the money left over goes to leukemia research.
This is moose, and this is caribou.
Wherever their bikes take them, the Houston officers are warmly welcomed and well fed. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police throw a party for the Houston bikers, but not everyone gets to enjoy it.
I noticed that with this team, there always seems to be more uphills than downhill.
The bike has to keep moving to make it to Anchorage on time. The others at the party will have to catch up later.
All right, keep going, Diane.
Who would ever thought I'd be riding a bicycle in the Yukon?
Right now, it's Officer Diane Young's turn at climbing the mountain.
When I get to a mountain, and I've had a lot of them on this trail, it seems pretty tough getting up there. I just think about a leukemia patient at MD Anderson Hospital. Before you know it, I'm at the top and on my way downhill.
I didn't know cops had bicycles.
7-year-old Michael Collins of Pasadena is one of the kids the officers think about while on the road. Michael has leukemia.
There was bugs inside me that make me sick.
I'm kind of get choked up a little bit because I think of Mikey every time we speak about leukemia. And,
The bikers have been followed all the way to the Yukon by Houston police cars donated by the city. They are driven by Houston Fire Department paramedics who are also donating their vacation time.
It's all on my own. I give up my time for just to make things safe for them.
In the Yukon, the sight of a passing Houston police car does turn a lot of heads, mostly moose and elk. But people have noticed too. All along the Alaska Highway, people have opened their pocketbooks. One town in Canada gave the passing bikers a check for $3,000.
All along the way, we raised money. We sold more shirts and cows. We even had people stopping us as we were biking up here, giving us donations.
Dorothy Richardson of Alberta saw the police cars and the bikers outside her motel room and gave them a check for $200.
We thought it was somebody, some policeman coming up to get a prisoner or something up here.
Hey, girl.
It is well past midnight when Diane and the others in her group who missed the big dinner in Whitehorse hand off the bike to other officers and grab a bite to eat.
Hot dogs are coming.
The Cozy Cafe is staying open late because it's not every night that tired and hungry Houston cops pass through town. But up ahead, there are more mountains to climb on the long, bumpy road to Anchorage.